All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. All right, and I want to get into a quick lesson just about the herbs, and different things. And the main reason I'm doing this lesson is because well, Salakia. First of all, I want to say Salakia. I haven't been making videos and the frequency that I should. I've been working on my car lately, trying to get everything situated, and been trying to stay in the spirit, but I haven't been making the videos like I needed to. I've been super tired, transitioning, a lot of things been changing, but I wanted to go ahead and make this video. So getting to the topic, there are different herbs that brothers can buy. Let's just get the scripture first. Ecclesiasticus 38 and 4. The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Meaning you will not avoid them. You ain't gonna frown up about them. You're gonna look at the herbs and you're gonna understand the benefit that comes with them. Even if they might taste nasty or whatever the case may be, you understand they're good for you, and so you're not gonna avoid them. If you're wise. Now, I was getting into the herbs. I went and bought a few different bottles of herbs, like just different stuff. Burdock root, some turmeric with capsaicin, just different things with different benefits. Hawthorn berry, which is a good blood regulator. I already had some Boswellia serrata, which is I think it's frankincense resin in a pill form that you can ingest, you can take into your stomach. But anyway, so with all these different healthy pills that I've been trying to get into, or herbs I should say, so the pills usually come in a gel cap, and it contains the actual herb inside of it, ground very finely or chopped up really small. And what I realized as I was looking for them was a lot of them have these gelatin capsules on them, and of course we don't rock with gelatin now. In my travelings and my going alongs, I've discovered that there are different types of gelatin. There is a bovine or cow gelatin that is used in certain things. For example, I'll give you a good example. Pop-Tarts. Right, so when you look at Pop-Tarts gelatin, in the United States, the gelatin in Pop-Tarts is derived from beef and is used to help the texture of the product. Plain unfrosted Pop-Tarts do not contain gelatin. So when you get like a frosted strawberry Pop-Tart or something like that, they don't have beef. They don't have pork gelatin. It's beef gelatin, and that gelatin comes from like the different little, I think not cartilage, but there's like this material. If you've ever had oxtails, when you cook them down, there's this like slightly chewy kind of feeling you get when you eat them, and like coats your mouth. That's like part of the gelatin that is in beef, and so they derive that and they use it the same way that you can use pork gelatin. Pretty much, you can use beef gelatin to do certain things. And so I was trying to look up, what type of gelatin was used in these pills, because some of these pills, at least I didn't see the vegan option, and also some of these pills are cheaper, and you can get much more. So what I do is, if I do buy ones that have gelatin, I'll take them out of the capsule and I'll just pour them into whatever I'm using, and I'll throw away the capsule, as not to be over righteous, because when you start trying to buy herbs, it can get very expensive. But I was trying to look into, because I was wanting to give a family member some of them. And, I don't want to, in good conscience, give them the pill and they consume it, and there's pork in it, when they don't consume it properly. So I had to do the research to know, okay, is this derived from pork? So I can tell them, hey, look, you need to take it out of the capsule. Now they're not exactly like I am. I've talked to them about the truth. And they're kind of one of those people that's not 100% sold. They've been in a Christian church for all these years. and so they still believe, at least they have believed, in that whole freedom to do certain things. But when I'm around, they typically avoid pork and stuff like that. Either way, I was letting them know for my conscience sake. I had to research to let them know, okay, whether it was beef or pork, and I want to know for myself too, so I can, if I want to pop one of them, just take a herb pill one day. I don't have to avoid it. So anyway, so I looked on the package. Looked on the package. Of course, it doesn't tell you what type of gelatin is derived, that the pills are derived from. Excuse me, on the package. And so I had to call up to the vitamin shop, which is where I got my pills from, and it's like their brand of pills that they sell in the vitamin shop, the orange and white bottles. Let's see, vitamin shop. Let's just get Salakia X. Just show you, Salakia. Yeah. So I could just click on this. There you go. Hit Hawthorne extract. Whole standardized Hawthorne. So when you look right there, other ingredients: gelatin and rice flour. And Esau's the devil, man, because these things are made with gelatin and rice flour, but they have like I can't think of it. Like, let me see. How do you spell it? Turmeric. Let's get some turmeric. One of these, see, look at this. They have vegetarian capsules that you can use. That when you look at the other ingredients, it has vegetable cellulose, magnesium stearate, and silica. So these are made, from different. Oh wow, $50. These must be a big, 120. But yeah, and this is one I have a smaller bottle, but this is one of the things I use as well. Turmeric with curcumin is good for like a antioxidant, cellular health, cardiovascular, joint pain. It's lowers inflammation. But anyway, to the point. He's a devil because there are other options. So I was trying to look, like, okay, what type of gelatin is this? I'll figure, hey, maybe I'll get lucky. It's beef gelatin. I called up to the vitamin shop, asked him. He couldn't find it. He went on the website to the people who actually sell this stuff, and he couldn't find it on their website. Turns out you got to call in to get product information. I called in. Turns out these things are mixed with pork and beef. They are pork and beef derived mixtures that's used for the capsules, and all of them are mixed with both animals. So you Akyam, if you have to buy pills that have the gelatin on them, then of course take them out of the gel cap, and the actual herb itself that is in the cap should be fine to consume. Like I said, you don't want to be super over righteous, but I just feel like that's wicked, or that is wicked that Esau would put the healthy pills, the healthy plants and stuff inside of an unclean animal packaging, because Esau knows what he's doing. He's like, oh, you niggas want to get healthy, right? Well, I'm gonna pump you full of pork through the pills, But I just want to get into that. Let's see here. And this is another reason why we can't trust our enemy. Ecclesiastes 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So I mean, the point is, and I got a little rust on my vehicle, and I sanded down all the rust, and I didn't really put a treater on it. I should have put a treatment on it to try to stop it a little more, but I sanded it down. In certain areas of the rust, hey, it's coming back, and so that's the point. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Because guess what? Iron's gonna rust. If you leave a cast iron, pan alone, what happens? It gets rusted. You know. Now you can treat it, you can wipe it away, but it comes back. You see, it comes back. And so let's just continue the scriptures. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, that thou shalt be unto him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. Like if you wear glasses and they're dirty, it can be a little hard to see, but when you wipe them, everything gets clear again. So don't let him going down and humbling himself and crouching down and being all nice and friendly. Don't let those things cloud your vision. Don't let those things cloud your judgment. Why? Because when you wipe that bull crap off of the glasses, then what you gonna see? And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Right? Because you can never really truly get rid of rust. That's every expert opinion is, once you get rust in the object, say for a car, once you get rust in the body of that car, the only way to fix it is to cut out that rusted piece of metal and replace it with a new piece of metal. So you should never trust thine enemy. And so that's why when you look at, certain things, it all has to just go back to the conscience you have with the Most High, because you really can't trust Esau, man. Esau can tell you it's GMO and it can be the same old shit. You know what I'm saying? He could tell you, even with the Pop-Tart thing, he could tell us that it ain't no beef inside of the American version. So, hey, for conscience sake, there ain't no beef in it, But really, how do you know? How do we know what goes on in those factories? We don't see where they derive the gelatin from. We're just taking it off of face value, because we got to go to these devils and for the one of all things. But the point is, never trust thine enemy. Hell, today I was getting something to eat, and at this restaurant, me and my wife and my mom, we went out, got something to eat, and we asked for the turkey sausage. And I was looking at that sausage like, man, I hope this is really turkey. I feel like it was, but I just had to look at it and sniff it, taste it. I was like, man, Lord, I hope this is turkey. It sure looked like it, but then again, yeah, man, it's just one of those things where you just gotta have a good conscience towards the Most High, and we can't be over righteous. The scriptures tell us, according to what happened to Ezekiel, that the children of Israel would eat their bread defiled. Even like with the pill situation, technically, the herb inside of that pill has touched that casing, that gelatin capsule. But what can I do? If there's a certain herb that I cannot get somewhere else, or I don't have the money to be buying the vegetarian brand, if that even exists for that particular herb, then I have no choice but to get the part with the casing, take it out, and pour out the powder and ingest it that way. But it's still been contaminated, such as prophecy. But yeah, never trust thine enemy. Yeah, let's get that. Get that bread defiled. Ezekiel 4:13. And the Lord said, let's see here. Ezekiel 4:12. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with the dung that cometh out of man in their sight. And the Most High said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them, So all of our bread has been defiled, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Now, of course, I don't know how extreme it is of what's been mixed into it, but in some cases it's pretty bad, like fruit. Did you know that fruit is coated with shellac, something called shellac? Shellac is derived from bugs, if I'm not mistaken. See? Shellac is a resin secreted by the female lac bug. Watch this. Shellac, wax, fruit. Our facts on wax. Our vegetables and fruit wax is kosher. Coated with food grade vegetable petroleum and or shellac based wax or resin to maintain freshness. What are waxes? They are any blah blah blah. Waxes are not a new phenomenon. Shellac or lac resin is a product that is imported from India and is used for citrus fruits, apples, and pears. It is a product that is derived from the secretions of the tiny lac insect. The lac insect secretes lac resin. The resin is gathered, crushed, seed, washed, purified into food grade shellac. They say that shellac is kosher. You know. Most importantly, the analogy between shellac and secretion from a non-kosher insect and honey. You know. So yeah, I mean, I can kind of see where they're going with that because honey is derived from a non-kosher insect, but it is also something that we're allowed to eat. You know, honey. So I can kind of see where they're coming from. I mean, it's not the actual dead body of the lac bug, so it may be okay. Still, you know, it still is a curse that we have to scrutinize the things that we ingest so deeply because the captivity that we're in, we're gonna eat our bread defiled. You know, there's all type of things, man. You'll drive yourself crazy to really going deep into the different things that contaminate our food, the different things that are in bread, the different things that are in wheat, different amount of bugs and contaminants that are allowed to be in certain products we ingest, coffee, you know, tea. It's just the list goes on and on. So that prophecy definitely has come to pass that we shall eat our bread defiled among the Gentiles, whether he will scatter us, you know. But eventually, all this stuff is going to come back on the head of Esau, and I'm going to probably end it with this scripture here, Job 5:13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. You know? Actually, Salaki. Job 5:11, to set up Job 5:12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. And the enterprise of the crafty, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elites, which will be the Rothschilds and the different elite bankers, the so-called Illuminati, and going on down to you different politicians, officials, and, you know, just people who set the policy for the whole world. You know, he makes it where you cannot execute your full purpose, which is to destroy the children of Israel. He upsets your purpose, man, like the scriptures say. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. So he disappoints your devices, you know, for the elect's sake, so that the elect may be spared, you know. But you know, hopefully this lesson was edifying. You know, I just wanted to make a quick lesson based off of that. You know, Esau's the devil, you know. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you couldn't readily find that information about what type of gelatin was used, because kosher is a big deal. You know, stuff being kosher is a very big deal, and for you to not be able to find information on something like that, or, you know, health vitamins and stuff like that, you know. Let's see here, vitamin. Kosher. You know, there's just, you know, type in kosher, you barely find anything. Anyway, like I said, hopefully this lesson has been edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. All right, and with that, I'm going to say Shalom.